Are you drinking plenty of water every single day, yet still noticing your legs feel weaker, your balance feels less steady, and your energy slips away no matter how much you try to stay hydrated? What if I told you the real problem isn't how much water you're drinking, but what's missing inside that water? This isn't just about thirst, it's about the slow, silent loss of strength that can rob you of independence, confidence, and the ability to do the things you love. And here's the shocking part: even if you eat protein, even if you try to exercise your body after 60, often can't fully use it to rebuild muscle. That's why so many older adults find themselves frustrated, wondering why their efforts aren't paying off. I've spent decades helping people over 60 fight back against this invisible thief called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. I know how discouraging it feels when stairs get harder, when carrying groceries feels heavier, or when you start avoiding activities you once enjoyed. I also know the fear many of my patients share, the fear of losing mobility, losing independence, and losing control over their own lives. But here's what most people don't realise: there is one missing piece, a single natural nutrient, that works like an ignition key for your muscle building engine. Without it, your muscles simply cannot respond the way they used to. With it, your body can actually switch back on the very process that keeps you strong. The good news: you don't need a complicated program, you don't need expensive gym memberships, and you certainly don't need to overhaul your entire diet. In fact, all it takes is stirring one simple flavourless scoop into the water you're already drinking each day. That's it. And research shows that when you do this consistently, you can feel stronger, steadier, and more energetic within just a few short weeks. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes I'm going to reveal exactly what this nutrient is, how it works inside your body, and the simple protocol my patients use to reclaim muscle balance and independence well into their 70s, 80s and beyond. I want you to picture something with me for a moment. You're walking into your kitchen carrying 2 grocery bags, just like you've done thousands of times before. But this time something feels different. The bags feel heavier, your arms shake a little, and when you set them down on the counter you realise you're out of breath. You think to yourself, maybe I'm just tired today, but then it happens again next week, and again the week after. This is how muscle loss works. It doesn't slam into you all at once. It sneaks in quietly like a thief in the night, stealing small pieces of your strength without you noticing, until suddenly everyday tasks feel harder than they used to. This condition has a name: sarcopenia. And according to the Journal of Gerontology, after the age of 60, we lose about 3% of our muscle mass every decade if we don't actively fight it. By the time someone reaches 75, they could already be missing 15% of the muscle that once kept them steady, balanced and confident. That's not just a number, it's the difference between stepping off a curb safely or stumbling between standing up from a chair with ease or struggling to push yourself upright. Here's what I tell my patients: muscle is not vanity. It's not just about looking good in the mirror. Muscle is mobility, it's independence, it's the ability to pick up your grandchild, mow the lawn, or carry laundry up the stairs. And when muscle disappears, freedom often disappears with it. Now you might be thinking, but I eat plenty of protein, I try to stay active, why am I still getting weaker? That's the frustrating part. 2 people can have the same diet and exercise routine, yet one stays strong while the other fades. The difference lies in a missing signal inside the body, a switch that decides whether your muscles actually use the protein you eat or let it go to waste. And in just a moment, I'll show you what that switch is and how you can flip it back on so your body starts rebuilding strength again even after 60. Here's what most people don't realise: protein alone is not enough. You can eat chicken, eggs or steak every day, but without the right signal inside your body, those proteins never get fully used to build new muscle. It's like pouring gas into your car. While the ignition key is missing, the tank fills up, but the engine never starts. That ignition key is an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is part of a family we call branched chain amino acids, or BCAAs. Out of the 3 BCAAs, leucine is the one with the power to flip on your muscle building switch. It works by activating a molecular pathway called mTOR. Think of mTOR as the master control panel inside every muscle cell. When leucine arrives in your bloodstream, it knocks on the control panel and says, start building now. The problem is this: as we get older, that control panel becomes harder to activate. Scientists call it anabolic resistance. Younger adults can trigger mTOR with small amounts of leucine found in food, but after 60, your body needs a much stronger signal. That's why 2 people can eat the same turkey sandwich, one 30 years old, one 70 years old, and only the younger body responds by building muscle. Several studies, including research in the American journal of clinical nutrition show that older adults need nearly double the leucine compared to younger adults just to spark the same response. But here's the exciting part: leucine doesn't have to come only from food, where it's tied up in larger proteins. When you take pure leucine, dissolve it in plain water, and drink it on an empty stomach, it bypasses digestion and floods into your bloodstream in 15 to 30 minutes. Suddenly, your rusty switch gets a surge of power, and your muscles finally hear the signal to grow again. And here's where it gets even better, because when you time those leucine doses at just the right moments, you can flip that muscle building switch 3 times a day. Now that you know leucine is the ignition key, the next question is obvious. How do you actually use it? Here's the mistake many people make. They think if a little is good, then a lot must be better. But that's not how your body works. Your muscles can only use a limited amount of leucine at one time. Flood the system with too much and the excess just gets converted into sugar or stored as fat. What you need is not one giant dose, but small steady sparks throughout the day. The sweet spot is about 3 to 4 grams of leucine total per day, divided into 3 doses of roughly 1 to 1.5 grams each. That rhythm keeps your muscles in a building state for most of the day, instead of leaving them drifting in breakdown mode. The first scoop is the most important within 30 minutes of waking up. After 8 or 10 hours of fasting during sleep, your body is breaking down muscle to fuel basic functions. A glass of leucine water in the morning, 8 to 12 ounces at room temperature, flips the switch immediately from breakdown to build-up. The second scoop, about 30 minutes before lunch. This is the priming dose. When leucine is already circulating in your bloodstream, the protein you eat at that meal doesn't just get digested, it actually gets used to build new tissue. It's like setting the stage before the actors arrive. The third scoop comes in the mid-afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock. That's the danger zone for many older adults, the time of day, when muscles naturally slip back into breakdown mode and fatigue creeps in. A leucine boost here keeps you steady and ready for the evening. I always remind my patients, keep it simple. Room temperature water dissolves the powder best. Hot water can degrade it, and icy water makes it clump. Add a squeeze of lemon if you want flavour, but skip sugar or artificial sweeteners. And here's what excites people most: you don't have to wait months to feel the difference. Many start noticing results in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. Let me show you exactly what happens over time. One of the first questions I always get is, how soon will I feel it? Nobody wants to wait 6 months for proof, and the truth is you don't have to. When you follow the leucine in water protocol, the timeline of change is surprisingly quick, and it builds like climbing steps, each week a little higher than the last. In the first week, the changes are subtle. Most people tell me their afternoon slump isn't as heavy, or that they don't feel quite as drained climbing stairs. Think of this stage as your body getting reacquainted with the idea of using protein efficiently again. By the second and third weeks, the results grow clearer. Chairs you once pushed out of like a heavy lift suddenly feel easier. Carrying laundry doesn't leave you short of breath. A patient of mine named Margaret, age 72, told me she was shocked when she realised she could walk her dog 2 blocks farther without stopping. That's the moment she said, "Doctor, something's finally working." Weeks 4 to 6 are when the transformation really takes root. Your body starts laying down new lean tissue. Clinical studies confirm that consistent leucine supplementation leads to measurable gains in muscle mass and walking speed in this window. You're not just holding the line against decline, you're actually moving forward. And after 2 to 3 months, many patients describe it as turning back the clock. A 75-year-old gentleman once told me, "I feel like I've borrowed my legs from my 60-year-old self." That's not magic, it's your biology responding once it finally gets the right signal. But there's one more layer to this story, because leucine by itself is powerful, yet it becomes unstoppable when you pair it with the simplest kind of daily movement. Let's talk about why. Here's the truth. I always tell my patients, leucine is the ignition key, but movement is the map. Without movement, your body doesn't know where to direct those amino acids. It's like buying the best building materials, but never showing the contractor where to put them. Movement, even gentle movement, tells your muscles exactly where to grow stronger. Now don't get me wrong, you don't need to join a gym or lift heavy dumbbells to see results. The most powerful activities are often the simplest: a brisk 20-minute walk, standing up and sitting down from a sturdy chair, light gardening, or even folding laundry with a bit more intention. These everyday movements become signals. When you combine them with leucine in your bloodstream, it's as if you're writing clear instructions to your body. Rebuild here, reinforce this muscle. That's why I recommend what I call leucine and move sessions. You take your scoop of leucine water, give it about 30 minutes, then spend 10 to 15 minutes in gentle activity. I had a patient named Harold 68 who never enjoyed formal exercise. All he did was add a daily 20-minute walk after his afternoon dose. Within 3 months, his leg strength improved so much he stopped needing the handrail on his staircase. The science backs this up. Research shows that muscles under even light mechanical stress absorb amino acids more efficiently, and leucine amplifies that process. Walking channels the leucine to your legs. Reaching and bending in the garden channels it to your arms and back. Even practicing tai chi or light yoga helps guide leucine into the fibers that need it most. But here's the catch, not every leucine supplement is created equal, and if you choose the wrong one, you might be wasting your money and your time. Let me show you exactly what to look for. If you've followed me this far, you're probably wondering, alright, which leucine should I actually buy? And let me be clear, this decision matters. Pick the wrong supplement and you may end up with a product that doesn't work. Or worse, one loaded with fillers that your body doesn't need. Here's the golden rule, look for pure L-leucine powder. That L is crucial, it's the biologically active form your muscles can use. Some bargain bin products mix in D-leucine, which does nothing for muscle building. If the label doesn't clearly say L-leucine, put it back on the shelf. The second rule, skip the capsules. On the surface, capsules seem easier, but most contain just 500 milligrams each. To reach 3 grams a day, you'd need to swallow 6 or more pills daily, and worse, the absorption is slower. With powder, 1 scoop dissolves easily and 8 to 12 ounces of water absorbs faster and allows you to measure precisely. It's more cost effective too, which is something my patients always appreciate. Now what about quality control? Choose supplements that are pharmaceutical grade or USP verified. That means the product has been tested for purity and potency. Avoid brands that hide behind proprietary blends. You want a clean label that lists only one ingredient, L-leucine. No colours, no flavours, no mystery additives. For storage, keep the powder in a cool, dry place. Your pantry or a kitchen cabinet works fine. Stored properly, leucine powder remains stable for 2 to 3 years. Many of my patients like to prepare all 3 doses in bottles each morning. It's convenient, and leucine stays stable in water throughout the day, so you're always ready when it's time. But even if you buy the best leucine, your results can still stall, because there are common mistakes people make that quietly kill progress, and I want to make sure you don't fall into those traps. Let me be honest with you, most people don't fail because leucine doesn't work. They fail because of how they use it, and I've seen the same 4 mistakes over and over again in my patients. The first mistake is inconsistency. Leucine only works if your muscles receive that steady signal day after day. Skip doses, and it's like watering a plant once a week. It might survive, but it will never thrive. I had one patient, Joe, who started strong, but then forgot his afternoon scoop. After a month he told me, "Doc, I don't see much difference." Once he fixed his routine within weeks, his strength began climbing again. The second mistake is taking leucine with big meals. When your stomach is flooded with steak, beans or eggs, all the amino acids compete for absorption. Leucine loses its edge. That's why I emphasize empty stomach is king. 30 minutes before a meal is the sweet spot. The third mistake is expecting miracles overnight. Yes, some people feel changes in 2 weeks, but rebuilding muscle takes time. Think of it like growing a garden. You don't plant seeds on Monday and expect tomatoes by Friday. Give it at least 2 to 3 months of consistent use before you judge the results. And the fourth mistake, megadosing. More is not better. Take too much and your body simply converts the excess into sugar or fat. Stick with the proven range 3 to 4 grams per day, split into 3 doses. That's what the research supports, and that's what delivers results. Now, even if you avoid all these traps, there's still one final layer we need to talk about: your safety. Because while leucine is one of the safest tools I use, there are certain conditions where you need to be extra careful. I want to pause here and make something clear. For the majority of healthy adults over 60, leucine is safe, effective, and life-changing. But as a physician, it's my responsibility to tell you when to be cautious, because your health always comes first. Let's start with the kidneys. Leucine, like all amino acids, is processed through your kidneys. If you already have kidney disease or significantly reduced kidney function, you need to speak with your doctor before starting. I've had patients with mild kidney issues who did just fine at lower doses, but that decision must always be personalized. If you're diabetic, leucine can actually help by improving insulin sensitivity. Some studies show better blood sugar control when leucine is added. But here's the flip side. Because it can nudge your blood sugar, you'll want to monitor your levels closely when you first start. One of my patients, Linda, type 2 diabetic, at age 67, kept a simple log of her glucose readings for 2 weeks. She noticed her numbers actually stabilised, but she and I reviewed them together, to be sure. Now blood pressure. Leucine tends to lower it slightly, which is great for many people. But if you're already on blood pressure medications, this effect can compound. It won't hurt you, but it means you need to check your numbers and stay aware. And finally, if you're taking certain depression medications, specifically MAO inhibitors, talk with your provider before using leucine. Interactions are rare, but better safe than sorry. For everyone else, leucine is one of the most straightforward natural ways I've ever seen. To rebuild muscle after 60, safe, simple, and surprisingly powerful. And that brings us full circle, because what matters most isn't just knowing the science, it's deciding what you'll do with it. In the conclusion, I'll show you how this small habit can change not just your muscles, but your future independence. So let's bring this all together. Over the last few minutes, you've learned about the hidden thief that slowly steals muscle after 60, and the surprising key that can flip your body's muscle-building switch back on. You've discovered that leucine is not just another nutrient, it's the ignition that allows your muscles to actually use the protein you're already eating. You've seen how timing those small doses throughout the day can change your strength in weeks, not years. And you've learned how pairing leucine water with simple movements like walking, gardening, or chair stands creates a powerful synergy that keeps you independent. I want you to remember, this losing muscle is not an unavoidable part of aging. Sarcopenia is not destiny. With the right strategy, you can push back, you can regain, and you can thrive. I've seen it happen with patient after patient, ordinary men and women who thought their best days of strength were behind them, only to discover that their bodies still had more to give. And if they could do it, so can you. But knowledge alone won't change your life. Action will. That first scoop of leucine in water tomorrow morning could be the first step toward climbing stairs with confidence again, toward carrying groceries without worry, toward playing with your grandchildren without fear of falling. Every sip is not just hydration, it's an investment in your future self, in your freedom, in your dignity. And I care deeply about that future for you. I don't just want you to survive each year. I want you to live it strong, mobile, and proud of what your body can still do. So here's my invitation. Don't let this be another video you watch and forget. Take this seriously. Try it for 3 months and give your body the chance to show you what it's capable of. If this message resonated with you, do me a favor, hit the like button so more people your age can find it. Make sure you subscribe and tap the notification bell, because every week I share practical, science-backed ways to protect your health, your independence, and your quality of life. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one activity you wish felt easier in your daily life? Walking, lifting, climbing stairs? Drop your answer in the comments. I read them and I care about your journey. Together we can prove that age is not the end of strength. It's the beginning of a smarter, stronger chapter.